and this car is fresh, quite literally. It hopped straight off of the boat from Germany onto a truck and straight into the Auto Trader studios for us to have a quick look at.
Search Auto Trader.
This is the Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV, and this car is fresh, quite literally. It hopped straight off of the boat from Germany onto a truck and straight into the Auto Trader studios for us to have a quick look at. Now, as you can imagine from its nomenclature, it is the SUV version of the EQS Saloon, which we tested earlier this year. We'll leave a link down in the description box below. And as such, it shares the same bespoke all-electric platform as the EQS and the upcoming EQE SUV. At over 5 meters long, nearly 2 meters wide, and 1.72 meters tall, it is a big vehicle. But being the flagship SUV within the EQ range, there is a lot of technology packed into this massive package. Air suspension is standard, four-wheel steering is standard, and there's a load of other goodies which we'll get into when we hop inside and check out the rear. As you can see from the shape of this EQS SUV, it really doesn't look like any of the other Mercedes-Benz SUVs in the local lineup, and that's because it was designed on this bespoke platform, as I mentioned, and it was designed without the advent of the internal combustion engine, meaning it was designed to be an EV from the ground up, and that's why it looks the way that it does. They've also done this for a very specific reason. They've made it the most aerodynamically efficient SUV on the planet, with a drag coefficient of 0.26, which is incredible for such a high riding car. This is also aided by these aerodynamically optimized wheels, but the purpose of aerodynamic efficiency is not only for performance, it's also for range, and this car with a 108 kilowatt hour usable battery pack can get a claimed 500 to 600 kilometers of range on a single charge. The twin electric motors in these 4MATIC variants produce 265 kilowatts and 800 newton meters of torque. That allows this car to get from 0 to 100 k's an hour in a claimed 6.4 seconds. Now, being an SUV, it's not only about range and performance, it's also about practicality. Now, in overseas markets, you get either a 7 or a 5-seat version, but in South Africa, we're only going to get the 5-seat option for now. But that does mean you get quite a capacious 640-litre boot, which folds completely flat when you fold the second row of seats and gives you 2,100 litres of loading space, making it easy to load things in the back and making this very practical indeed. Now, the interior of the EQS SUV is similar to that of its saloon counterpart. Now, contrary to popular belief, the EQS model range is not meant to emulate the GLS or the S-Class as the epitome of luxury within the Mercedes-Benz portfolio. It's just meant to show the absolute latest in cutting-edge EV technology that the Mercedes brand has to offer. Now, when stepping inside of this car, we don't have the optional hyper screen, which I believe costs a pretty penny, but we do have a fairly substantial slab style infotainment system right in the center console that is portrait mounted. It's got items like live navigation, wireless Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. We also have a nice digitized instrument cluster. Now, moving on to the steering wheel, we've got these buttons with haptic feedback, which I still am not the biggest fan of. Behind that, you'll see gear shift pedals, which may seem a bit out of place in a car that doesn't have a gearbox per se. But the minus and plus here allows you as the driver to customize the amount of regen you get under braking when it comes to coming off the power on the electric motor. So you can control how much regen comes via these paddles over here. There's also various storage areas inside the cabin. This, in the center console, for example, is a massive area to store things. Also got your cup holders over here, quite capacious with a wireless phone charger here. There's also an island underneath here to store other items. Now, with various Mercedes-Benz products in the past, we have noted some cheap feeling plastics, and this car is not innocent. There are some cheap feeling plastics here and there. For instance, on the steering wheel and on various areas inside, you wouldn't say that this is a multi-million rand car. Now, we don't have pricing, but we can only estimate that this is going to be a multi-million rand car, being a flagship EV from Mercedes. An area that both the cameraman and myself really appreciate is the flat floor in the rear. Now, you can see where the battery pack is stored below the rear seats, but in front of you there's a completely flat floor, which is apparently amazing for mounting tripods, but is also great for legroom. Now, I'm not the tallest human being on earth, but I appreciate some good legroom, which leads to better headroom on those sumptuous headrests at the back, making this a very, very comfortable car to spend time in. We hope you enjoyed this quick review of the Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV. Now, we didn't get a chance to drive this car because at the time of filming it hadn't been launched as of yet. But we will be bringing you coverage of when the vehicle is launched at its national media launch in the coming weeks. We'll also be getting the vehicle on test, and we'll do a more extensive on-road review to see how far we can get on a single charge. Until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button below, like if you enjoyed the video, and let us know in the comments section below what you'd like us to test next. Remember, if you're looking to buy or sell your car,
Search Outtro.